welcome to this Light City Media Team tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to transfer and organize footage. So after the service, the next thing that needs to be done is transferring the footage from the SD card on the camera to the SSD, which is the solid state drive, also known as the external hard drive that the church has. So we want to take the footage from the SD card and put it on the church's SSD. So the first thing you want to do is, hopefully, unless you're on a Mac, this may be a little bit difficult, but you want to insert the SD card from the camera into your computer if possible. If you don't have a card reader on your laptop, the next thing you could do is use the USB-C cable that comes with the camera, and that should allow you to connect it to your computer using a cable. If you don't have the cable, then another way that you can transfer footage onto the SSD is by using the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi settings on the camera to connect your laptop to the camera. So there's three options that you can use, but whatever way you choose, just make sure that when you're transferring the footage, that you go to the folder on the solid state drive, the SSD for the church, and make sure you have the date of the service inside the Light City folder. So if the folder hasn't been created on that drive yet, just go ahead and create a Light City Services folder. And then inside that folder, you're going to want to create another folder that shows the date of the service. Now, once you've created that, you can go ahead and transfer all the footage into that folder. So today I'm going to be working with a video from November 20th. This is similar to what it should look like once you've transferred the footage. But for you, you're going to see a bunch of different numbers. These won't be named. And that takes us to the next step, which is to go through each of these pieces of footage and delete any footage that isn't needed, and the ones that are needed, which usually pertain to the sermon, you want to go through each clip, click on it, watch the whole thing, and then you're basically just going to split the sermon up into parts. And as you can see, this one is called Part 1, Gifts and Callings. So usually what I do is I put a Part 1 there, and then I name the file something that relates to what was said within the video. Part 6 says you have something valuable to pass on to someone else. So that was a piece of information that stood out to me in that video clip. So I just named it Part 6, and then I added that as the title. So once you go through each clip and you add the title to it, the next step is to then create another folder within that folder and call that compressed. And the next step is to open a new project in Premiere Pro, and you want to name the project the date of the service that you just recorded and just add compressed to that title. So for example, I'm working with November 20th, so I'll put that November 20th, and then I'll put compressed. Basically what this compressed means is, go ahead and create it. Compressed basically means we're decreasing the size of the file to make it easier to upload to Google Drive. Because after every service, one of the things we have to do is upload all the footage, all the parts that have been organized into Google Drive, so that our pastors have access to the footage as well, and they can help us with, picking out the right clips. So go ahead and import all the files that you just named. So Part 1 all the way to Part 14. I'm going to import that. I'm just going to go ahead and drag all of them onto the timeline. Now, first thing I'm going to do is check that it's in the right order. So I'm going to click on this. Okay, this is not in the right order, because right here you can see that it says Part 11 instead of Part 1. So it did not import in the correct order. So I'm just going to delete that. Go back over here, click on Part 1, hold down Shift, click on 14, and then hopefully when I drag it this time, Part 1 is going to be here. Okay, so we have part one here. So in order to compress it, all we need to do is just export each clip individually. So in order to do that, we're going to highlight the first clip, and to highlight it, you press I on your keyboard. Make sure you're at the beginning of the clip. Press I on your keyboard to set the endpoint, and then press down. Press the down key, the down arrow key, to go to the end of the clip, and press O. Now we selected part one. Now we're ready to export. Very simple. Now make sure you choose the right location. So currently it's not set to the right location. So I'm gonna go to my SSD, go to Light City Services, go to November 20th, go to compressed, and make that the saved location. Make sure you're saving it to the compressed file folder. Also make sure that the file name matches the name that you put for part one. And now all you have to do is press this, send to media encoder. Now, I'm pretty sure if you download Premiere Pro onto your computer, it's going to download media encoder as well. But if you don't have media encoder on your computer, then just go ahead and download it from the Creative Cloud. And that's part one done. Now, basically, all you have to do now is repeat that process for each one of these clips. Send them all to the media encoder. Make sure they're being saved to the compressed folder. And once you do that, the next step would be to export them all. Now we're going to go to part two. This is part two. Press I on your keyboard. Press down, the down arrow key. Press O. Now it's highlighted. Let's go to export. Make sure, see, we're doing part two now, so we need to change the name. So the name for part two is this. So I'm going to copy it. Go back here, paste it, press enter, and then this should say the compressed folder, and send it to media encoder. So for you, this is the media encoder, and for you, you should have all the parts that you exported in this area. Yeah, this should be pretty full for you, and all you have to do is press play. Gonna start exporting all the clips. So this is the easiest way. Instead of just exporting each clip individually, we're just gonna do it in the media encoder in bulk. To have exported, it should look something like this. If you go to the folder, it should just be identical, but if you look at the file size, it's going to be a lot smaller. So here, the file size is 549 megabytes, but if we go to the original, the file size is 2.29 gigabytes. So there's a huge difference in the file size, and this just makes it easier when you're uploading to Google Drive. So let's do that right now. Go to videos, 2022, and then go ahead and create that folder for the date you recorded, and then create one folder for edited video clips, and then one folder for unedited video clips. And this is where you're going to put all the videos that you just compressed. So you're going to want to go in here, and then just go ahead and upload the files. So you would go to go to compressed. I prefer to upload them in bulks of 3 and 4. It depends on the speed of your computer. I found that that's easier for my computer to handle, so that's about it. I guess the last thing would just be to let Pastor Toya know that you've uploaded the clips, and maybe just send her an email saying you've uploaded the clips from the service to the folder, and add a link to the folder in the email as well. And yeah, that's about it.